Hey everyone, seems like the event has not started yet and I'm just waiting. It also gives a dial-in number you can see on my screen. So I just want to call and see if it has started and they are not going to share the audio through this virtual conference. So give me a minute, I'm just going to check quickly. Okay, so I'm going to dial and I'm going to see. Seems like maybe it has not started or they want us to call. If they want us to call, that will be weird because if we are doing a webinar, they should share the sound.
Welcome to Zoom. Enter your meeting ID followed by pound. Enter your participant ID followed by pound. Otherwise, just please enter the meeting passcode followed by pound. You have joined the meeting as an attendee and will be muted throughout the meeting.
Result of the transaction. As a result of the business combination, Torchlight shareholders of record on June 24th have the opportunity to retain an interest in Meta and participate in its future growth. At the same time, the Series A preferred share dividend represents an interest in the company's oil and gas assets. This Series A preferred share dividend was distributed by the company's transfer agent on June 25th, 2021 to shareholders of record on June 24th, 2021 through DTCC. DTCC is in the process of distributing those shares to the brokerage houses and ultimately its rightful owners. The certificate of designation of the Series A non-voting preferred stock of the company, filed with the Nevada Secretary of State on June 14, 2021, entitles holders of Series A preferred stock to receive certain dividends based on the net proceeds of the sale of any assets that are used or held for use in the company's oil and gas exploration business, subject to certain holdbacks. Such asset sales must now occur prior to December 28, 2021, or such later date as agreed by between the company and individual appointed to serve as a representative of the holders of the Series A preferred stock, thus the sale expiration date. Subject to certain conditions, the company may effect a spin-off of any remaining oil and gas assets with the holders of Series A preferred stock to receive their pro rata equity interest in the spin-off entity. I will remain as an advisor with Meta to manage the disposal of the assets and assist on any other issues facing Meta's management team. Now, with that short, brief intro, we'll hand it over to George Harris to give you more information about Meta. Go ahead, George.
Thank you very much, John, and welcome to Meta. Whether you are a long-time investor on either side of the merger or have recently joined us, we are privileged and grateful for the chance to earn your continued support. Meta is now as the first NASDAQ-listed metamaterials company, joining the world's premier exchange for technology companies. We believe this should improve access to capital markets, raise global awareness for Meta, help attract exceptional talent, and support a broad range of organic growth opportunities. Moreover, it allows us to seek strategic opportunities to broaden our platform, focusing on complementary technologies, adding manufacturing capacity, and opening new markets. When I founded the company in 2011, I had the vision for how a new class of materials, called metamaterials, might be used to fundamentally help improve human life. My educational background includes degrees in computer engineering, digital communication systems, and metamaterial science. As I will explain in a moment, Meta's platform technology includes aspects of all three disciplines. Meta has built a team of multinational subject matter experts, and we expect to continue adding headcount to support our plan for growth. Not only we are a diverse group of people, we have people, for example, from over 21 different countries, but more than half of the team here at Meta is at least bilingual, and collectively we have 25 spoken languages. Over the last 10 years, we have reached a point where we are now scaling the commercialization of our technology platform. So first we had to develop the software and tools required to design and prototype metamaterials tailored for different applications. We couldn't outsource the manufacturing. The reason for that was that the capability for metamaterials manufacturing simply did not exist. It was made possible to produce our designs at only wafer scales using semiconductor equipment. And we learned that the cost per square meter was far too high to be commercially viable. Before we could commercialize our designs, we had to actually acquire and develop the tools and processes to fabricate metamaterials for the first time over large areas with semiconductor accuracy. We are scaling our production from wafer-based batch processes, which we currently use to make prototypes. We expect that using roll-to-roll equipment and increasing the width of the substrates to about 1 meter plus or wider should greatly increase our capacity to reduce the cost per square meter by orders of magnitude. Today, we are procuring our initial pilot scale roll-to-roll production capability, which we currently expect to be ready in the first half of 2022. In addition, preparing for volume manufacturing, we have been building critical relationships with leading OEMs from across different industries, and we expect we will sell our products and license our technology to a number of these OEMs. We have secured 76 granted and 64 pending global patents in 44 patent families to protect our investment and to enable our licensing revenue business model. For example, 14 patent families relate to our proprietary rolling mass lithography and nanoweb, our transparent conductive film product line. Our technology platform encompasses 3 core capabilities: holography, lithography, and wireless sensing, and it is powered by software and AI design. We believe this allows us to develop a library of solutions and prototypes much faster at lower cost than traditional chemical synthesis. So to put that in perspective, what typically takes years with multi-million-dollar investment to develop new materials by the competitors, at Meta, we develop materials with new properties in hours and days at a fraction of the cost using more sustainable materials. We like to refer to this as innovation at speed. We enable leading global brands to deliver breakthrough products to customers in consumer electronics, 5G communications, health and wellness, aerospace, automotive, and clean energy. According to Lux Research, which is a leading provider of tech-enabled research and innovation services, the metamaterial device market that is serviceable is projected to reach $10.7 billion by 2030. Optical metamaterials use carefully controlled nanostructures to manipulate visible light to enable lighter and thinner optics for everything from eyeglasses to mobile phone cameras. Lux Research predicts that the technology to design and manufacture optical metamaterials is rapidly maturing, making commercial adoption likely soon with a potential of $50 billion total addressable market, which ranges from corrective lenses and consumer devices to industrial, medical, aerospace, automotive, and even military equipment. Meta is from the Greek word which means to go beyond. The metamaterials we design exhibit properties not found in nature, enabling capabilities that go beyond conventional materials and chemistry. At Meta, we are seeking to redefine what's possible across a broad and growing list of applications. So now let's review a couple of examples amongst the things that we are excited about. We started in aerospace, forging relationships with major companies such as Airbus and Lockheed Martin. With Airbus, we developed our first commercial product called Meta Air, which is a laser glare protection eyewear, a holographic optical filter, which has to meet unique requirements for pilots, blocking green laser strikes without distorting the colors of cockpit instruments and other critical visual cues, such as airport runway lights. With Lockheed, we entered into a $4 million plus US 4-year research and development program for solar technology. Product specifications in aerospace are quite demanding. Volumes tend to be lower. However, this typically results in the potential for high gross margins. Applications we are currently pursuing in this area further include EMI, so that's electromagnetic interference shielding, and heads-up displays. Wireless communications is another area of interest. In March, we announced a collaboration with Sekisui Chemical to improve the performance and coverage of high-speed 5G and future 6G networks. The general premise of high-performance 5G is to create wireless mobile networks able to handle a far greater number of simultaneous connections to greatly reduce network latency and to provide much higher data rates. However, these high-speed signals are highly directional. They have reduced signal range, and they're easily blocked by objects in the environment, such as buildings and trees. Deploying a large number of small cells in dense urban areas to fill dead spots in network coverage, including providing access to power and fiber optic backhaul infrastructure, raises the cost and creates challenges for wireless carriers. Meta, in partnership with Sekisui, are working toward developing a passive, more sustainable solution to cost-effectively address this problem. We are also developing a new transparent and flexible radio wave reflection film, which passively reflects and transmits radio waves in the sub-6 gigahertz and millimeter wave ranges. This transparent film can be applied anywhere, without requiring connection to a power supply and without spoiling the surface's appearance to improve network coverage. Within the Lux Research forecast I mentioned a moment ago, communications is estimated to become the dominant market segment, representing the vast majority of revenues until later in this decade. Now, if we look at automotive, zero-emission and autonomous vehicles, and the ADAS, the Advanced Driver Assistance Systems, Meta's nanoweb transparent conductive film can be used in these areas to efficiently de-ice and defog the windshield of electric vehicles. By reducing bulk and weight, this approach saves interior space and should improve the range of electric vehicles. The cameras and sensors on board the car that allow autonomous vehicles and ADAS systems to see their surroundings can be blinded by bad weather. NanoWeb can not only keep the sensors clear of ice and condensation, but also shield them against electromagnetic interference. The wires that make up NanoWeb metal mesh are so small, they can't be seen with the human eye, and they don't interfere with advanced sensors such as LiDAR. BCC research projects that the global market for transparent conductive films will reach $7.6 billion by 2025. Another exciting area, which we actually did a press release this morning, is the medical space. Meta is developing technology to improve the signal-to-noise ratio for MRI, magnetic resonance imaging scans. This has two important benefits. First, it improves the resolution, so basically the image quality for systems with lower field strength, i.e. smaller magnets. And secondly, it reduces the amount of time to acquire a desired image. So what does that mean? Well, reduced scanning times should save costs and improve patient access in the healthcare systems where waiting times can delay diagnosis. Meta is also developing GlucoWise, a non-invasive blood glucose monitoring device for managing diabetes without the need for painful finger sticks. A special metamaterials film designed to allow a wireless signal to go through the web of skin between the thumb and the forefinger allows measurement as frequently as needed without drawing blood. This morning, we announced the completion of a 27-month project supported by the British government and Innovate UK in partnership with Brunel University in London, the Imagination Factory, and Virtual Clinic Direct to develop a prototype that's a tabletop version of the wearable and handheld GlucoWise for use in point-of-care settings at home, in a clinic, or a doctor's office. This device consists of a home hub concept, along with a wearable element for overnight trend monitoring. It uniquely uses multi-wavelength biosensing technology, which combines optical and radio wave sensors alongside machine learning processing. The project demonstrated on a laboratory environment that the system improves the accuracy and the prediction of glucose level changes compared to using standalone sensors, either optical or radio. We filed, as a result of this program, 2 new patents covering this work. Preclinical human studies are scheduled to start this summer in the UK as the next step. And as you can imagine, accurately measuring blood glucose levels non-invasively without drawing blood must overcome significant challenges, including the weak signature of glucose molecules compared to the other tissue components and weight of water. So the signal interference from other biological substances, the effects of the environment, such as ambient temperature and skin moisture. So we have work to be done there. The project we just completed shows the promise of combining millimeter wave and near-infrared signals to improve accuracy. Additional data collection from preclinical studies should help improve our machine learning algorithm, and we're excited to keep informing our investors and looking for strategic investors and partners to further advance this technology. It'll take time to complete the development. Ultimately, we envision GlucoWise as a discrete, pocket-sized portable device, which will be paired with a smartphone app and a cloud-based software support. So let's take a look at renewable energy. At Meta, sustainability is one of our core values. It's in every product that we design and create. We are developing technology to increase the efficiency of solar electric power by improving light trapping and angular absorption. In the morning and evening hours, when the sun is at a low angle, the output of solar panels drops because much of the light is reflected, unless the panels are mounted on a costly tracking system which tilts and follows the sun. In April, Meta announced collaboration with Sage Geosystems, which further seeks to apply metamaterial technology in another key area, which is geothermal. Utility geothermal, in fact. The ability to create electric power at the cost of just 4 cents per kilowatt hour, a 32 to about 60% reduction compared to a current cost of about 5.9 to 10 cents. Moreover, by operating in a much more prevalent dry, hot rock locations, it will greatly expand the number of suitable sites in the United States and around the world. Conventional geothermal power systems use steam turbines on the surface to generate electricity. The SAGE meta approach is to develop subsurface thermoelectric generators which at a certain depth produce power by harnessing the temperature differences that exist within the well. And unlike intermittent sources such as wind and solar, geothermal offers always available baseload power. Moreover, geothermal requires much less land area per energy delivered. We estimate that a single geothermal well may generate about 6 megawatts of power. 12 wells may be grouped in a 4x3 pad occupying approximately 800 square feet, which is a staggering small number. The DC output must be converted to AC, so some additional space is required to house inverters. In comparison, 1 megawatt of crystalline solar PV would require about 4 acres, and a 1 megawatt of thin-film solar PV would need about 6 acres of land. A rule of thumb for wind turbines is 50 acres per megawatt. SAGE and Meta are working to address technical requirements and demonstrate a prototype. If you look at the data in the U.S. Energy Information Administration, it indicates that the U.S. utility scale electricity generation in 2020 was 4.1 trillion kilowatt hours, out of which 60% was sourced from fossil fuels, and only just under 20% was renewables. Geothermal in all of this accounted for only 0.4% of the total. So SAGE and Meta seek to enable a significant increase in terms of the share for geothermal in the United States and elsewhere. The next topic is augmented reality. AR smart glasses, which allow the wearer to see digital information superimposed with the real-world surroundings, may become the next big computing platform to follow the smartphone. There are two major challenges here. The first, to make the technology comfortable and stylish, so you don't look like a robot. And secondly, to provide support for corrective lensing, which is the majority of users require, more than 50% of the market. In February, Meta acquired the assets and IP of a Swiss lens manufacturer called Interglass. In addition, Meta partnered with Covestro, a leading German materials manufacturer, to develop a one-stop shop using our new AR fusion technology, which is intended to embed holographic optical elements inside precision cast corrective lenses. Other potential applications for this AR fusion technology include color vision correction and contact enhancement for sports. According to BCC research, augmented reality eyewear represents a $1.5 billion potential market. Last but not least, I would like to talk about molecular biosensors. Meta is developing biophotonic sensors with sensitivity and performance enhanced by our nanomaterials to meet the rising demand for point-of-care, point-of-use testing for COVID-19 and 50 other molecules. This portable smartphone biosensor, which is under development, uses surface-enhanced Raman spectroscopy, SIRS for short, with a special film material as a consumable. We have, in summary, built a platform technology company. We have secured a growing IP portfolio, and we have been focusing on the development of high-volume, high-value applications. Meta is scaling its roll-to-roll production capabilities, which we believe can be flexibly reconfigured to support different applications as we transition customers to licensed production locating within their own facilities with their suppliers. This is a scalable and repeatable process to support strong growth and margins as we execute a pipeline of engagements. So now I will return the mic to Ken Rice, the CFO.
Thanks, George. I'll start by reviewing some details of the transaction and the recent events that surrounded it. The arrangement agreement required that certain steps be taken prior to the formal closing of the transaction. As John mentioned earlier, on June 25th, Torchlight paid the special Series A preferred stock dividend to its common shareholders of record as of June 24th on a one-for-one basis. The DTC informed that formal allocation of the Series A preferred shares to individual brokerage accounts was dependent on a couple things. First, receipt of certain documentation by DTCC from legal sources, and second, a new step for the preferred shares referencing the name change of the company post-closing. We understand legal documentation was provided to DTCC on July 2nd, 2021, and the QIP is being processed today. Once the DTCC allocation is completed, holders of the Series A preferred shares should be able to determine appropriate allocations in their individual accounts. Any questions about your individual account should be directed to your broker. Torchlight also announced that it implemented the previously approved 1-for-2 reverse stock split of its common stock. The 1-for-2 ratio represented the lowest amount the company was able to implement under the approved range that was from anywhere from 1-2 to 1-20. And that was approved by the Torchlight shareholders at the shareholder meeting in early June. The business combination with MetaMaterial was formally completed on June 28th. Torchlight was renamed MetaMaterials Inc., aka Meta, and we began trading on NASDAQ under the ticker symbol MMAT on June 28th. Giving effect to the reverse split, former holders of MetaMaterial Inc.'s common shares that were previously traded on the CSE are entitled to receive 1.845 Meta shares for each previously held common share of MetaMaterial Inc. This consideration is payable either directly in Meta shares or in exchangeable shares of MetaMaterial Exchange Co. Inc., a wholly owned subsidiary of Meta, that reflect the same exchange ratio on issuance. The form of consideration that is received depends on the election made by the shareholder in a letter of transmittal filed by the shareholder earlier in 2021. The exchangeable shares of MetaMaterial Exchange Co. Inc. were listed on the Canadian Securities Exchange, CSE, and began trading under the ticker symbol MMAX on June 29th. To complete the share exchanges and reflect such exchanges in individual accounts, Meta's transfer agents, AST Financial in the U.S. and AST Trust Company in Canada, must perform detailed reconciliations of the shareholder records held by them, as well as by DTCC and CDS, which is Clearing and Depository Services Company in Canada, along with reconciliations of the letters of transmittal received to ensure that the exchange of old MetaMaterial Inc. common shares for Meta shares is accurate and that the shares are being provided to the proper owners. These reconciliations require quite a bit of time to complete. AST informed us on June 29th that the required reconciliations and share transfers could not be completed until on or about Friday, July 2nd, given the extremely high transaction volume in the old MetaMaterial shares immediately ahead of the closing and somewhat complicated administrative procedures. During the proxy process and the offering circular communications, we did make clear that the exchanges would be implemented after the closing in as expeditious a manner as reasonable. After lengthy review and discussions with AST and DTC, Meta believes that the process is being performed in a highly diligent fashion and at the most deliberate speed, especially given the Canada Day holiday on July 1st and the 4th of July holiday in the United States. All exchanges of MetaMaterial Inc. securities surrendered with a valid and duly executed letter of transmittal up to and including shares purchased on June 25th, 2021, will have an effective date of June 28th, 2021. shareholders who hold physical stock certificates or direct registration statements called TRCHs on the book of the transfer agent or in book entry form who have not submitted a letter of transmittal, you'll be required to submit a letter of transmittal surrendering your position along with your physical share certificate, if applicable, in metamaterial in order to receive your NASDAQ Meta shares. You may find the letter of transmittal form in the investor section of our website under FAQs. We encourage you to do this as soon as possible to ensure proper exchange of your shares. We are committed to expediting this process as much as we are able, and we truly appreciate your patience and cooperation as we complete our transition to the NASDAQ listing. We are aware of various instances of Meta's company information and data, such as the industry sector, share count, and market capitalization, which are not yet correctly showing on financial information websites. We've been in touch with all of these information providers and understand that it will take a little bit of time for updates to be reflected, but they will be reflected. As a result of financing activity ahead of the closing in our recent at-the-market or so-called ATM offerings, Meta now has over $160 million in cash and a virtually debt-free balance sheet, with approximately 285 million shares issued and outstanding after the 2-for-1 reverse split. From here, we believe we can now comfortably support our near-term and long-term growth initiatives. Because metamaterials are an important emerging industry, Meta has received and will continue to seek non-dilutive research funding from various government agencies, including the Atlantic Canada Opportunities Agency, or COA, which is a Canadian government agency responsible for promoting economic growth in the Atlantic provinces, Sustainable Development Technology Canada, SDTC, which is an arm's-length foundation whose purpose is to demonstrate new technologies to promote sustainable development, and Innovate UK, which is part of the UK Research and Innovation, which is a non-departmental public body funded by a grant and aid from the UK government. These arrangements are typically structured over periods as short as 6 months up to 5 years, with payments recognized upon delivery of associated milestones and deliverables. Pivotal to our strategic growth initiatives, in June we signed an amended 10-year lease agreement for our Highfield facility located in Dartmouth, Nova Scotia, expanding the space by about 15,000 square feet to approximately 68,000 square feet. In addition to holography and lithography R&D labs and the next phase of Meta's development of roll-to-roll processes, the expanded space will also include a new customer center for training and technology transfer. We expect to invest about $10 million in capital to renovate and equip the new facility and complete our initial pilot scale roll-to-roll production capability late this year. We also plan to invest about $6 million in applied R&D and additional headcount. With that, I'll turn the call back over to Derek.
Thank you, Ken, and thank you, everyone, for joining us today. We appreciate your interest in Meta. Any questions that remain can be directed to the email ir@metamaterial.com. And be sure to sign up for news alerts, including filings on Metamaterial's website in the investor section. This concludes today's presentation.
Okay, I think that's the end. So I'm gonna close and disconnect. I'm here. If you want, we can go through MMAT technical analysis. If you want, I can go through other stock during the midday, maybe for 5-10 minutes. We can just talk about any stock here. So give me a second, and if you want, just type in and we can chat. Okay, so anyone new here, if you want, you're always welcome to subscribe to this channel. This particular channel, we talk mostly about the support, resistance, the technical analysis, so that we get in, get out, do some quick day trading or swing trading, this kind of thing. Also, if something is heavily oversold, then we talk, and we are here to make money. If you can subscribe, if you don't like, you can always leave. There is nothing wrong. And at the same time, hit the like button. And also, as I talked previously, that we have a community here. You can always join the community. It costs only $3 per month, which is like 10 cents per day. So you can join. If you don't like, you can always leave. Give a try, because $3 is a promo offer, and I'm having more and more members. So most probably I will go to another tier with higher amount, but currently it is only $3 per month. And you will see that I post for members with some trade ideas, support, resistance. In the morning, I came up with so many trade ideas, like what's the support, resistance when you get in, get out. If you like this kind of thing, then you can always join. At least if you want some news, like that, there was a news like CCXI, then there was a news on Meta this morning for the Meta completes UK funded project towards developing. So like you can see my community, but if you want, you can give a try. If the post is not for the members, you can see, but yeah, if this is for the members, then yeah, it will be for the members. So anyway, you can always give a try. So let me see if there is any comment. HMBL, where is my $2? I want my $2. Okay, I never played with HMBL, but let's have a look. I have no idea about this particular one, but I remember. Okay, so just looking at a 1 hour chart, let me see on a daily chart what's happening. Um, why it is showing me only since 16th of June? Can anyone let me? Is there any margin or error? Anything happen? HMBL. It was at 0.8, found the floor around 0.5, currently at 0.54. I have no idea why it is only so many days. Yeah, it's TradingView. I'm using TradingView and HMBL. OTC, there is OTC, CSE, Canadian market. Okay, the other one is DPLS, dark pulse. Okay, this one is looking interesting. DPLS. I'm gonna move to 1 hour chart. Just wanna see what's happening. Okay, looking good. I do not have any idea why, but the overall trend line is looking good. This is looking good. It has been making higher lows at the same time higher highs. And just looking at hourly chart, this looks really nice. I do not know if there are any catalysts, but again, if you want, we can have a look at the technical analysis. Let's see on a resistance. I think a resistance was around 0.5. That's the old story, and that thing is gone over 0.5, then 0.7. I really do not know about this particular one, but seems like this one is doing really, really great. Just moving on a daily, and the RSI is already sitting at 85. So yeah, so it might get a pullback because it has been running. It might get a pullback. It might come back to 0.09 again before it runs, but otherwise it might run a little bit more and touch around 13 cent, 14 cent, and then it will have a pullback. Look at the hourly RSI. Whenever it went to 91, 92, it came back, and the current RSI is around 76. So it might go a little bit more, 13, 14 cent, and I think it will come. But as long it has been making higher highs and higher lows, and it is moving within the blue lines, this is an uptrend and it is going higher and higher. And also, if you like swing trading, maybe this is a good one to target, like when it go up, comes down, so you know the signs. Can we look, hi Sophie, can we look at AHT? Yeah, I made a video on AHT recently, and I was talking about buy the dip around 2.9, and it came to 2.68, and this is from my last night video, and this is the chart here, and my bottom was around 2.3. So it came to 2.68, not bad. If you want, you can wait till 2.3. Otherwise, seems like from 2.6 it is having a bounce. Again, a heavily oversold. You can see on an hourly chart the RSI is at only 8, which is below 10. So definitely it needs a bounce. And it was down on Friday almost 35%, and it is down today. So it's definitely is oversold. Instead of 1 hour, if I move to a daily, you will see that the RSI is 30. So definitely oversold. It might come down to 2.3, but at least at this price of 2.7, it is oversold. And if you buy now, maybe it will have a bounce and you can just make some money. And anyone new here, hit the like button, subscribe to the channel. At the same time, you can always join the community, because for the community members, they get the priority. They can ask any question about any stock. I draw the chart, I talk about the support, resistance and everything, and it costs only 10 cents per day, not too expensive. Okay, DPLS has a contract with NASA. Oh, that is great, that is great. So maybe it will run a little bit more and then it might give you a pullback. So we are closing red today. Mike, are you talking about AHT? Uh, it might come down a little bit, but seems like already it is oversold. That's the only thing I want to say. And again, the split for AHT will be 1 for 10 on 19th of July. So there is some time. And again, before the split, you might see more drop. If you want to wait, just wait for this to come around 2.25 or 2.3 area, then you can get in. Okay, MMAT, you are a member here, and you know this morning I was talking about MMAT, and I'm not against MMAT, but for the swing traders, I was warning what will happen, right? I talked about the chart that 7.958 will be a resistance. So if you want, get out at 8. Again, you see lots of comment about 888 because we had a resistance around $8 and 8.4. So it came back from 8, and currently MMAT is going down. This is at $7. So I can't tell you that it will go over 9 today, because you see the reaction by the rumors, sell the hype. So there was a real run up this morning. It went up. People were expecting some. They had some other expectation, so they did not get it, and now it's coming down. If you want, you can always do some deep buying. I sold my shares around $8 because that was my thinking, that at 8 I will sold, and if it comes down I will just deep buy again, because this is a great company. But why not like buy at a discounted price, because normally after the event it comes down, then it goes up again. So I will just buy again. So if you want, let me pop up the MMAT chart again. And why I'm so interested here, look at the daily, look at the RSI, and look at the things, right? So let me pull up the chart. I'm gonna close the stream very soon, but again, 7 should be a good resistance, 7 or 6.7. currently we are at 7. Wait for more pullback if you think it will come down, or if you want to average down, wait for this to come around 7 or even 6.7 and buy more. My target was $8. I sold at 8 today, and I will just buy more because now it is at a discounted price now. Okay, ADXS, MMAT, NNDM, workhorse. Oh my god, so many. Okay, workhorse. I have to close the stream soon, but yeah, workhorse, be careful, because workhorse is at the support of 13.85, and you can see that if this support is broken, workhorse can come down even more towards 12.5. We played workhorse, we sold workhorse around $18 because it was a swing trade. So at 18 I sold and I did not touch, and I'm glad that now workhorse is at 13.8. The important thing, the 13.8 support needs to be held, otherwise it might come to 12.5. Then after 12.5 there will be gap towards 11.5. I'm not touching workhorse at this point, but hopefully around 12 it will get a nice support. ADXS, Tanvir, ADXS. Okay, ADXS, I don't know what happened, but seems like it is very angry today. It's up. So this is something like it makes a nice U-shaped recovery. It goes up, comes down, goes up, comes down. So definitely it had a floor around this area, which I would say around 40 area. And again, it will have a resistance around 0.85, let's say, and what else, and around 0.6. So now from daily, I'm moving to an hourly chart just to see what happened. So yes, there was volume. It went up, came down. So Tanvir, for ADXS, just it needs to hold the 0.6 support. I think once 0.6 is held, then it might go up again towards zero point 0.7. Yeah, actually 0.7 was hit by today. So again, there is a gap up. I do not know about the catalyst, but yes, it was running hard. Seems like it is coming down. The volume is also dying. Okay, marcher play. NNDM. I love NNDM. Okay, NNDM. Okay, so NNDM, we know what's happening. The green line around 7.3 is always a very strong support. So again, NNDM can come back to 7.3 and bounce. And always NNDM is a long-term, very hold in good investment because it went to 17 previously, and ARK Invest, they like NNDM. Also, NNDM is a very good swing trade opportunity because if it comes back to 7.3 and bounce, it can again go back to 8.2 and again $9 area. Looking at a bigger picture, you see the big pictures. It was rejected heavily around 11.6, then again around 9.1, and 9.1 it was rejected 2 times. So definitely 9.1 will be a big one. Other than 8.3, I think another deep buy could be around 6.6. You see the area. 7.3. If 7.3 is broken, then 6.6. I love NNDM. I'm holding NNDM, so definitely I'm bullish on NNDM. So one thing I always want to say, if you are in profit and you are not sure, please use trailing stop loss. You can always set 3% or 5%. So whenever it will come back down 3 or 5%, it will be sold automatically and your profit will be locked. You can buy again when it will come to a bottom support. So I had some call options as well, and definitely 9.1 is a big resistance. I shouldn't say you sell your NNDM. Wait for this to bounce back at 7.3. If it bounced back at 7.3, it can go back to 8.2. If you're really long term, just wait for this to come back. If you see 7.3 is broken, wait for this to come around 6.6, buy, and then again you average down. But do not sell for a loss because this is a great company and I do not want anyone to sell for a loss. Thanks for the ADX charting, Fubo. Okay, so many. Anyone new here, please subscribe. Please subscribe or at least join the community. Okay, I think I need to close now. So Fubo is the last one. And I'm just looking at my previous chart. Yes, Fubo had a resistance around 33.7. It went up, came down. Then a resistance around 32. We are coming down. The chart is not telling exciting thing. The only thing I would say, wait for this to come around around 26 area because 26 was acting like a support previously. So if it comes back to 26, buy, or wait for this to break 32. I'm looking at a 1 hour chart. It went up, it is coming down. I'm looking at a daily chart now just to see the RSI. That RSI is pointing downward. Yeah, not too exciting. It might come down. It might come down to 26 area before it needs some bounce. If not 26, it could be around 27, but not very exciting for a breakout or anything. Okay, subscribe. Thanks, Yad. Thank you so much. I think I need to close it. I need to go back to my other work. But MMAT, you see, currently it is at 7.2. It came around $7 and going back to 7.2. That's the good thing. When you know your support, resistance, your technicals, you can always set your limit buy order. It comes down and you buy it. Look what happened today. I was talking about 7. Look at here, right? Look at 7. It came down and went up. So very nice. Very nice. Always limit buy order is helpful. Anyway, I'm gonna close now, and if anyone new here, please join my community and you will be a member. And yeah, predictions for tomorrow for MMAT. GS, I think GS is a new member to the community, and welcome to the community. For MMAT, I will just say wait, and I need to close. I need to close it because I have something at 2 o'clock. I need to close. But anyway, thank you everyone for joining this particular live. And yeah, we ended the live, and I see so many people joined today. Still, I have 72 viewers, which is really nice. And we will talk. It's not the end. Normally, I make pre-market live. So if you're subscribed or if you're a member, then you know. And also for the members, I'm available throughout the day. So before I end, I will just ask a few things. Hit the like button, subscribe to the channel, and at the same time join the community. Thank you again for watching this particular video and this live. Thank you again, and let me know. Thank you, Sophia. Thank you, Tanvi. Thank you, everyone. Thank you, everyone, and the members. Thank you so much for supporting the channel. Yeah, take care and have a nice trading day, and we will come back again. Thanks. Take care. Bye.